Tag template literals are a very important part of JavaScript today. Libraries like style components, which is a very popular styling library for React, relies on tag template literals very heavily. So the syntax looks something like this: style.button and then a couple of backticks and then some text here, multi-line text. So how does this even work? Understanding that is very important for us to get used to style components and get better at using them. Hey everyone, I'm Bhargav and welcome to my channel once again. And today we are going to learn about tag template literals and how they work internally. So if you're not familiar with this syntax, with the expression followed by backticks, you might have probably used tag template literals with simple string concatenation. So how do we create a string in JavaScript? So we can create a string by doing something like const name equals Bhargav and something like that. And then we could concatenate multiple strings together. So for example, I can say const str is hi and then name followed by something like how are you. So now if I log console.log str, we should see that this string was nicely concatenated into our the other string variable. We can do the same thing with tagged template literals, and the way to do that would be to simply remove this, and instead let's remove this, and I can put in $name, and instead of the double quotes I'm going to use backticks. So now once the pen is saved, we should see that the same thing, hi Bhargav, how are you, was printed. So this is a basic use case of using tag template literals, that we can simply use them to concatenate strings. But what is this? So we have an expression here followed by a couple of backticks. So what exactly is happening over there? And to understand that, we'll probably have to revisit what tag template literals are. So they are not just meant for concatenating strings or just creating strings. They are actually function calls. So to give you an example, so let's create a function called my function, and let's just print something here, console.log hello, I am Bhargav. And how do I execute my function? I can simply do this, my function, and followed by parenthesis. So now once the pen is saved, I should see hello, I am Bhargav printed to the screen. Now in fact I can do the same thing with backticks. So these are one and the same in this case. So I'm just simply calling a function, and instead of using parenthesis I'm using backticks. So this is a perfectly valid way of invoking functions, except that we don't do that as often because that is not the intended use case for using backticks. The actual use case will probably be more clear once I talk about how the arguments are passed and so on. But let's take this a step further. Let's try to understand this even further. So when we are dealing with, for example, higher order functions. So for example, instead of making um, a simple function, I'll make a function. Actually, let me start with the older syntax. So const my function, and this function returns another function, which maybe returns another function, and this returns 5. So how do I get 5 out of my function? So to do that, I can, if I want to print the value that is deep inside this. So what I can do is I can do my function parenthesis, that will return a function, then another parenthesis followed by another parenthesis. So now this should, I think, print 5. So now we simply did a few function calls, but again the important thing here is that you don't have to hesitate. You can use backticks anywhere, backticks, or any order that you want. For example, if you want this to be parenthesis, that's also perfectly fine. But basically I just want to just uh, just make it very clear that we are dealing with functions when you're using backticks, right? So there is a shorter form to write this. I'm just going to explain that, just put it out here. So instead of using function everywhere, I can just do this. So these are arrow functions if you're not familiar, but this is just a shorter form of just creating a function So basically, we are just dealing with functions that return and deal with functions as arguments. And in that case, also, it's perfectly fine. You can use backticks, right? So now we'll try to really understand where the differences start to creep in. So for example, let's create a function called hello with name as argument. So I just want to say hello to that person, and I'll say console.log hello, and then we know how to concatenate. We can simply put a plus and then name. So now let us call this with parenthesis first, and I'm just going for a single argument. So just going to put hello Bhargav, single argument. Works exactly as intended. Now let's do with backticks Bhargav. That should also work. So basically, when you're dealing with no arguments, or when you're dealing with a single argument, which is just a plain string, it's perfectly fine. They both work in the exact same way. Now let's take a look at the arguments first. Let's try to understand what's happening here. So I'm just going to, so instead of taking in name itself, let's just grab all the arguments and just print the arguments. So this dot 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 simply means that I just want to grab all the arguments in an array. So if I pass one argument, then it will be if I just pass name, which is a single string, then I'm just going to get an array of one value, which is the name itself. If I pass multiple arguments, then I'll get all of them. So let's console.log. Yeah, I just need to change something to make CodePen run again. So okay, let's see what happens. What is printed? So in the first case, it printed args and Bhargav. But in the second case, it looks like we have something like the first argument. Basically, the first thing in this thing is actually happens to be an array as well. So it has the first item in the array happens to be Bhargav, and then there is this raw thing that is something that we haven't seen before. So some differences are starting to creep up, and this will become more apparent when we actually use multiple arguments. And actually, with this function call, I can pass in multiple arguments. Say Bhargav, Siddharth, something like that. That's fine. But how do I pass in multiple arguments here? I can't do this again, right? Because that will become a higher order function, and we simply don't have a higher order function. This is a simple function. So how do I do that? So basically, this is where the exact use case of tagged template literals comes in, and which is basically it is meant to pass arguments which are in a more intelligent manner. So I think that I can make that more clear when I show you this example. So let us say I want to say hello to a person, and I have all of the data I need over here. So for example, I'm going to put a name as Bhargav here, and I want to say hello to this person, and I have the message also with me. So I'll say hello, hey, plus name, plus how are you? And to do the same thing with this, I'll say hey, $name, followed by how are you. So let's clear the console and see the differences. So this is the first scenario. So we got, let's put a space here just for readability. Oops, sorry. Yeah, so he printed hey Bhargav, how are you? And this is simply the arguments over here. And the second case, we see hey, how are you? And Bhargav is actually sent separately. So actually, let's print just args. This might be more useful. So args is an array, and in the first case also args is an array, and the array has only one value. In the second case, it's an array, but the first value in the array is also an array, and it has hey and how are you. So basically, both the string parts and name is actually sent separately. So this is a very important distinction to make over here. And why does it happen like that? Why are the values sent separately? So the important distinction here becomes clear when, let us say you're dealing with, so instead of name, let us say we're dealing with a different kind of data structure, maybe a function, let us say. So there is a weird scenario where I have to call that function. I can't just use the function here itself. So let us say name is a function. So function name, and I pass this. So what happens is that um, wait, let's make it more clear. Function name return Bhargav. So basically, I just have a function that returns the name that I want. So now let us see what happens. So now with the traditional approach of calling a function, and if we basically do this right, hey plus name of Bhargav, and somehow we want to pass name into hello, but we also want to tell that we have to use this over here. So basically, we have this. We are trying to just come up with an arbitrary scenario where we want this to be evaluated at a later point within the hello function, and we want to specify where this also sits. So basically, we want hello to grab the name function and use it at an appropriate time. So what happens is that when we do something like this, uh, we don't really have much of a flexibility here. Once we start putting in strings and then functions together, then JavaScript is going to simply coerce the function into a string. So basically, it becomes hey function name, and basically all of this body becomes completely stringified. It is no longer a function; it is a string, and that gets sent to hello, which is completely useless. In the second scenario, what happens is that if you use tag template literals, what happens is you get both the string parts and you also get the function. So within hello, there are cases where you want to grab that function and just use it at a later point, and that is actually something that style components leverages very very well. So if you look at I think the first example itself probably shows that. So for example, this is a tag template literal, like I said, and here this is a function. This is basically an arrow function, and you can evaluate it when the component mounts, which happens much later than this declaration. So this function gives you control to do some things at a much later point, and that is not something that you can do with this. You can do it, but it's more convoluted, much harder. So you can do something like this, hey, and then pass the function that we want, and here grab that function as a second argument, grab it and then execute it and so on. But this sort of gives you the flexibility beforehand, makes it much more easier. We'll come to how to use this function and so on, but I just wanted to show you how tag template literals can pass the values without stringifying them, and you can decide how you want to use those values at a later point, right? So excuse me. So now let's tone this down. We'll get back to functions once again, but let's tone this down. So let's say I only have a name. Only have a string right now. So I have name, which is Bhargav, and now I have a unique scenario where I have my string sent, but this is out of place, right? It's completely out of place. So it's hey, how are you, and Bhargav is in a different place. So let us say I want to send. I'll make it the example more slightly more complicated by passing in a different argument. So hi, how are you? Maybe my age is like, I don't know, 9,000, something like that. And let's put a full stop at the end to make it obvious what's happening here. So now we can see that the args is an array of 3 elements. The first element is the array. The first element in the array is basically the list of all the plain strings. So hey until this point, and then all of this, and then finally the dot. So we should see that. Basically the first item in the array is the list of all the strings, and then finally we have the first this thing the first variable and the second variable. I'm just calling it variables, but the actual name is probably interpolations. So interpolation basically means that you're mixing in values which are not homogeneous. For example, we have a string and we're mixing them with variables. In this case, there is one string and another number. So we are trying to mix in values which are not basically just simple plain strings. So what the tag template literal syntax does is it grabs all the strings in the first argument, and then all the interpolations basically come later. So if I look at hello once again, and if I try to grab all the strings, then it will be something like this. The first argument that I'm receiving is basically the string array. So I'll just call it strings, and then I'm going to get interpolation 1 and then interpolation 2, something like that, right? So let us say I have to join this. Now I actually want to print, hey Bhargav, how are you? My age is 9,000. I want to print that. So to do that, I'll need to grab. Is there an issue here? Yeah. So to print that, I need to say console.log. Then I have to grab strings of 0, then join it with interpolation 1, and then I'm going to call this interpolation 0 because it is at the 0th index. So interpolation 0 and then interpolation 1. So let's go with 0 indices to make it more clear. And then I have to join strings of 1, then interpolation 1, and then finally there are 3 strings, remember, so we have to go strings of 2. So now if I print this, I think yeah, I think they should work. Yeah, so hey Bhargav, how are you? My age is 9,000. Works perfectly fine, right? So let's try to understand the pattern here. So what's happening is we have strings which has 3 items, and then we have 2 interpolations. So basically, if there are n interpolations, we can expect n plus 1 strings, n plus 1 strings. So that is basically how this works. And we can write a function. We can write a logic that is more sophisticated than just simply hard coding the interpolations. So we know that the first argument is strings. What I can do is I can grab all the remaining arguments by using dot 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 interpolations. So now interpolations will also be an array. It will contain the list of all the interpolations. So let us print this and just check it out. So console.log strings and then log interpolations. So now if I do that and clear the console, I should see that. Yeah, so the first one has 3 elements, the second one has 2 elements. These are the interpolations and this is the string. Yeah, ignore the raw attribute. We don't care about this for the sake of this video. Right. So now now I want to join them. So irrespective of how many ever interpolations I have, I want to make sure that I join the string correctly. So the way to do that is I know that there are n interpolations and I know that there are n plus 1 strings. So what I'll do is I'll join each string. So it's like I'll join the first string with the first interpolation in one loop, and then the second string and the second interpolation, and so on. And in the n plus 1th iteration, there is no interpolation. In that case, I'll just simply join an empty string. So that is the pseudocode, but I'll show that in practice. So let's use a for in loop, and I'll say for index in strings. I want to grab the string which is at the index in the strings array. So this will give me the nth string in that array, and I want to grab the corresponding interpolation, and I'll just do const interpolation is interpolations of index. So note that when index is n, so basically at the first position index is 0, so at n plus 1th item is basically it has an index of n. So at this point we probably not have anything, so it's probably going to be undefined. So in which case I can just simply put in double question mark and then just put an empty string. So basically if it exists, it will take that. If it does not exist, then I'm going to take in simply an empty string. Now I simply want to join this. So let's maintain another value called result, and in each iteration we'll simply concatenate result with result is equal to result plus string plus interpolation. Now let us log console.log result. Right. So now let's see what happens. It should work, I believe. Oh wait, result should be an empty string. Let's make this an empty string and try again. There we go. So we have hey Bhargav, how are you? Age is 9,000, and I can just keep adding this and so on. Let's put in another number. Const favorite anime is Death Note, and just put in that also somewhere over here. That will also work. We can have as many interpolations as we want, and it's going to work perfectly fine. It's going to concatenate all of them correctly. So what was the point of showing all of that? So what was the point of just showing all of this is there any use case for that? Well, basically the point of this is that this function here is basically what is actually happening when you just do this. So when you don't use a function and just do console.log and this, what is actually happening behind the scenes is that when you simply use a backticks without any expression, without any function call, so then there is a default function internally which simply just joins all the strings and interpolations together and just concatenates them together and prints the output to the screen. So this is sort of how the original or the default function for tag template literals looks like internally. So basically, to reiterate once again, uh, tag template literals are function calls, and there is a default function in case you are not using a function alongside your tag template literals. If you are only using it with, if you are only using it for string concatenation, right? So the next thing that I want to show you is slightly advanced, but I to get closer to how to what is happening in style components, we want to try to appreciate how this is actually very powerful when you actually use them alongside higher order functions. So the way it works is, let us create a higher order function. So I'm just going to call this function as create greeting. So I want to create different kinds of greetings. But I want, again, with each greeting I want to decide what I want, what kind of variables I want in that greeting. So for example, if I just want to say hey Bhargav, then I just want one variable, which is the name. And in case I want multiple greetings, I want to say hey Bhargav, how are you, my age is 9000. Then in case I want two arguments there, but I want to create a single function which can handle interpolations of various kinds. So basically this is going to be an interpolated function. I'm going to use it with a tag template literal, so I want all the strings and all the interpolations here. And I'll try to just put in the usage first. So let's return a function. So this is only one level deep. So I will return a function, and this function will take arguments. So in case of the first kind of greeting, like hi Bhargav, it's only one argument. In case of the second example I gave, it'll probably two arguments. But I don't care about the number of arguments. No matter how many arguments I give, I want this function to work. So I'll say function and take the arguments that the user is giving, and use them in the function that we use. It will become more clear as I show you the syntax. So basically what I want to do is, I want to create a hi greeting, which is something like this: create greeting. I want to use backticks here and say hi dollar, and here basically I don't have the name. So what am I trying to interpolate? So what I actually want to do is, I want to use hi with a name and something like this, hi Bhargav. And hi is a function, we already know that. So this is return, right? Create greeting is going to return a function. So this will work. But how do I grab this over here? So for this, I'm going to interpolate a function. I'm going to put in a function. I want to grab the name and just simply use the name here itself directly. So what I'm basically saying here is that, hey, create greeting function. I want a greeting that just prints the first argument here after hi. So hi. So grab the argument that I'll send later. But whatever argument I send, just grab it over here and just use it. I'll show you what I mean. So what we did earlier was that we tried to interpolate all the strings over here, right? So over here, but instead of doing that, instead of creating the interpolations there, we'll just move this into an indem function over here, right? So let us say we didn't have hi Bhargav, any of that. Let us say we didn't have any of this. So now it should work, I think. So I'm just simply creating a greeting with hi, but I'm not using the hi Bhargav, this argument anymore. So dot arg is not being used. So this should work. This should just simply print hi, I think. Let's reload and see. Oh wait, I'm not logging anything. My bad. So let's do console.log and then result. So this should simply print hi to the screen because we are not using any of this. But what we want to do is, we want to use this argument. So this argument is over here. So this is basically the hi function. So what I want to do is, if this argument, if this interpolation happens to, if the interpolation that we are dealing with here happens to be a function, I don't want to simply just add it to the string. I want to execute that function. So what I will do is, I'll create another variable called let value of interpolation. So if interpolation, so if interpolations of index is a function. So if it's a function, I want to execute. If I want to run that function, so if type of interpolations of index happens to be a function, then I want value of interpolation to be interpolations of index, and this is a function, right? I want to execute this function with simply the argument that I got. So I'll just do dot 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 args, and else if it is just any other case, then I simply want value of interpolation to be interpolations of index. Otherwise, plain empty string. So, and finally, I want to concatenate value of interpolation over here. So we didn't do too many changes here. All we did was if instead of simply adding all interpolations, we are just checking that if this interpolation is a type function, then we'll run that function with the arguments that we got from over here, and then use that value instead. So if I do hi Bhargav, then basically I'm just going to interpolate it with. So the interpolation will be called with that variable. So now what I can do is I can grab the argument that I passed. So I'm only passing one argument here, and I can grab that, and I can directly use that. So now I should see hi Bhargav printed to the screen. So what happened here is that imagine a scenario where I'm not using this. So I've created a function that is capable of taking something as argument, but it has not used it. So we are sort of delaying usage of it. So we have created it. We have created a signature to some of its internals, but not exactly, almost entirely of it. It still relies on name, but we have partially created a function. So these are partial functions. We have only created a part of it. But this gives us so much power that we can decide how we want to use it. So I can do hi oops so I can do hi Siddharth, and so on. It's going to work perfectly fine. Whatever value I give, it's going to print. Now I can take it a step further and just do const I'm just going to say greeting2 and just say create greeting, and instead of just saying instead of using just one argument, I'm going to use two. So I'm going to say I know that greeting2 has to be called with two arguments. So in the first case, I'll just use the name. In the second case, I am some many years old. But the first argument is name, right? So I'll grab the second argument instead, which is age, and I'll use the age instead, years old. So now I'll have to use greet with two arguments, and I'm going to put in Bhargav and just put in 97, something like that. So it's going to print hi Bhargav, I am 97 years old. So this is the power of using tag template literals with higher order functions. So you have created a tag template literal and you're returning a function here, and in that scenario you can call the function at a later point. You can just do some intelligent stuff on top of that. And what style components does is that it takes an interpolation and it takes a tag template literal and it returns you a component. So instead of a function, you're getting a function component. So basically you're just using tag template literals with React components. So that's pretty much it. So now that once you see this syntax with with basically the knowledge of what you've learned in this video so far, some of this must be clear. So basically, this is all just plain strings. These are going to simply get added to the style sheet. So once it calculates the rules over here, it's going to add them. It's going to add this result to the style sheet. But meanwhile, if it encounters functions, it's going to invoke those functions with props at a later point when the component is mounted. So if you're a React developer, you'll probably understand what I'm saying. Even if you're not, it's fine. this should give you some insight about how you can use tag template literals to do some amazing stuff and build some really awesome libraries. So I hope this video was useful and helpful to you. If you like this video, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you. Have a nice day.